Truly horrible story over the weekend. Dallas Cowboys player Josh Brent, allegedly driving drunk, flips his car. His passenger and teammate Jerry Brown killed in the accident. Now, the Cowboys are looking into all options to protect their players, including installing devices that would immobilize the car if the driver fails a breath test. The judge, Napolitano, is still here. Hi, Judge. This is a private company, the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes.
Right? They're a for-profit company. The reputation of their team is at stake. The value of the team is at stake. Do they have the right to intrude into players' cars and install a device so you can't ride this thing if you're drunk?
I'm going to answer your question as stated. Do they have the right? Not is it the right thing to do, but do they have the right to do it?
Yes, sir.
Well, they are not the government. And the young man who is accused, he's still innocent because he's innocent until proven guilty, yes, accused of this awful event, is free to work at another football team.
Yep.
So under that theory, he's voluntarily there, and he voluntarily accepts the restrictions. Look, professional athletes have a lot of restrictions.
But they're going to extend it to all team members, Judge. All team members.
No, I understand.
They would extend it. Everybody gets one of these devices.
Well, now you're going to touch the other side of me, which is why are they punishing everybody because of what one person did? That's preposterous.
Because the reputation and the value of the team is at stake.
They have the right to do it, because they are free to leave and not to work and go somewhere else. Were the government to do it to us, where we are not free to choose to have another government, it would be a different story.
So, Moshe, they made it a contractual obligation. So you sign a contract to play with the Dallas Cowboys, and you have one of these things in your car. Well, it becomes a contractual. Is that okay?
Good question. It more or less will be a contractual obligation. So they're basically going to persuade a collective bargaining unit, because those contracts are negotiated by the Players Association, to permit a modification to the contract retroactively. Almost impossible to do. But in this atmosphere where people are grieving because of the death of one of them, they may go along with it. Whether it spreads to other teams or not remains to be seen.
Now let's bring everybody into this. Is it the right thing to do? Bearing in mind that these are young men with a lot of money, and alcohol has been a factor in their, not just their performance on the field, but their social life in the past. So is it the right thing to do to take this precaution?
I think like many things, it doesn't address the root of the problem. And I think it's a very sad state of affairs for the NFL if they're thinking that they have to do this. I think there's got to be a problem elsewhere. And I think there's better solutions. If you're going to go to that level, why not assign a DD to every player? Why not let them not drive cars, period? I mean, where do you really stop?
I'm always worried about the slippery slope of these things when it comes to privacy issues, and what will the next step be? If they're monitoring this now, what does step 2 become? In my mind, my imagination runs wild, and that's a little bit scary.
Well, I share those concerns. I also share a harsh criticism of the horrific nature of punishing one person, punishing everybody because of what one has done. The most horrific regimes in history, without giving their names, thrived on doing that. One guilty person, we're going to punish everybody in your group.
Yeah. Well, what about the results of this kind of action?
The results of this kind of action will be the dumbing down of these people and the reduction of their sense of personal responsibility.
Maybe fewer deaths, Judge?
Well, there would be fewer deaths if we didn't use steak knives. I mean, there are a lot of aspects of human existence which we require for our society, which when abused cause death, but we don't have the government take them away from us.